In 2015, 193 countries of the United Nations launched the 17 Sustainable Development Goals to help find solutions for poverty, equality, justice, climate change, and to stop damage to the environment. In this module, we will learn how climate change will affect people globally and our ability to achieve these goals. Climate change will affect everyone across the globe, but to varied degrees. It is anticipated that the people who will be the most affected by climate change are those who are already dealing with poverty. The poor are facing a number of challenges, and when you add climate change to the mix, poverty rates will increase drastically with climate-related disasters, global warming, and food insecurity. Climate change causes unexpected disasters that can affect food security. Climate-related changes ranging from droughts to floods can affect our farmers' capacity to grow and then harvest crops. With changing food supply and increased demand, food prices will increase and will lead to food insecurity for the most vulnerable. Also, with the increased warming, acidification of our oceans, and subsequent impact to marine life, those working in the marine industry will be affected, as will be our ability to source food from our oceans. Around 70% of those who are poor are women. Unfortunately, poor women are unable to easily voice their concerns, have fewer rights, and may not be able to access resources, including healthcare when needed. As women become displaced by climate-related disasters, their ability to get proper healthcare will be impeded. It is important that women and our governments understand how climate change directly affects them, so that the needed support systems are put into place for climate emergencies. We need to understand how climate change can impact water security. Clean water and sanitation is vital for good health. As temperatures rise, this can threaten water security through evaporation and changing rainfall patterns. Temperature changes can also affect the quality of groundwater. As a consequence, the quality and our ability to use groundwater will decline. Flooding can additionally disrupt or damage our water supply and infrastructure, as well as bring contaminants into our water supply. Indoor air pollution is caused by burning dirty fuel, including firewood, crop waste, and dung, for cooking and heating. The burning of such fuels, particularly in rural and poor households, results in indoor air pollution. According to the World Health Organization, around 3.8 million people a year, particularly women and children under 5, die from indoor air pollution. Indoor air pollution causes a number of diseases, including asthma, pneumonia, lung cancer, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, and cardiovascular disease. Keegan, BBC, 2020. We need to educate people about the dangers of indoor air pollution and support the transition to better cook stoves and cleaner renewable sources of energy. Climate-related disasters can cause people to become climate refugees, displaced from their homes and jobs. Without insurance and savings, people will struggle to support their families. Additionally, we need to educate students and professionals on how to transition their skill sets to the green economy so that everyone can benefit from new green job opportunities. Climate change is likely to be most disruptive to developing countries. We must collaborate with these countries to discuss climate change and adaptation and to protect people from the devastating impacts of climate change. This might include sharing ideas and sharing technology to reduce the impacts and to transition people to the green economy. Entrepreneurs, including small and medium enterprises, need to be educated on how they can play a role in climate action, including greening their workplaces and designing greener products that are of high quality, durable, repairable, reusable, and recyclable. According to the World Economic Forum, conscious consumption is not just about what we wear. It is all-encompassing: where we live, how we move, the food and drink we consume, how its ingredients have been grown, processed, and packaged, and what happens to the leftovers when we are done consuming. Being a responsible consumer is about making well-informed choices that reflect our values and beliefs about ourselves, other people, and our world. Our choices here and today can have a positive or negative impact on all those connected to the products we consume, and on the environment for years to come. There is a debate emerging as to which countries should bear the greater responsibility for climate action. Countries that are in a stronger position need to lead the effort to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, while helping developing countries to also reduce their emissions. We should work together and not just blame one another, particularly since the impacts are being felt globally. Many people depend on the oceans for their livelihood and for their nutritional needs. The warming of our oceans is impacting marine life, as is the increased acidification of the oceans, given that more carbon dioxide is being absorbed at the surface of the ocean at an increasing rate. By damaging our oceans and destroying marine ecosystems, we are affecting people economically, impacting food security, affecting our own health and well-being through plastic-based waste that ends up in our food systems and taking away the ability of future generations to enjoy the wonders of the oceans. Climate change is placing tremendous pressure on farmers and our land through droughts, flooding, and disease. We must learn how to better protect our land from the impact of climate change and our own agricultural practices. Our land is the source of our food, and by thinking only about the short term, we are reducing the capacity of our land to regenerate and grow the crops we need. Climate change will pose difficulties for governments and people across the world. When people only think about the short term or local impacts, governments look for quick solutions that really do not address the underlying problems of our economic systems and behaviors. Without global cooperation, not only are we making it increasingly unlikely that we can control the rate of global warming based on previously set limits, instead, we are ensuring that conflicts arise between people and governments as they try to cope and survive. Conflict will only add to the financial and socio-economic pressures people are already facing from natural and human disasters. We can share our knowledge, our technology, and our best practices to jointly address the challenges of climate change. We can do this together. In this activity, students will conduct research to learn about the 17 Sustainable Development Goals and the link between these goals, human rights, and climate change. The teacher should display the 17 Sustainable Goals infographic found online for students. Students should be placed into groups and assigned a specific right to assess, that is, human rights that emerge from these 17 sustainable goals. Example: suggestions include the right to clean air and water, the right to good health services, the right to eat well, and the right to economic well-being. Students can create a mind map with their assigned right, placed in the middle, and then brainstorm the link to the SDGs, climate change, as well as adaptation strategies that can ensure these rights are preserved. The mind maps should be displayed for a gallery walk by class members and peer classes.